Welcome to Nerds Who Get Laid.
Sometimes.
Christmas edition.
Yeah.
Hey, so,
Well, before we get started, I've got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. Because of Festivus, the airing of grievances.
well, go ahead, man. Get it out.
Listen,
Here, you can
number
hold,
one,
you can hold my poll.
Chuck!
Yes, that's my grievance now.
There's no Festivus poll in
TJ
here.
always wearing fucking
Here, hold on.
purple.
Yes.
I'm going to get my poll up. Yeah. What'd you guys get for Christmas? Oh, yeah? That's cool. Thanks for talking to a podcast, you idiot. I can't hear you. Write me. Anyway, so how's everyone doing? I'm doing pretty good. It is, for us, we are recording on a Saturday.
Which is real weird for us.
It is. Because tomorrow is the eve of Christ's birth. I like to keep it real tied back to the Bible at my house.
He's the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Keep the Christ in Christmas.
Yeah, God damn it. Keep it there. Like all these people with the Xmas. You ain't Xing my shit.
The X is the cross of God. You didn't know this?
Because you don't want to cross God.
You won't be crossed again.
But we're pretty excited. I think everyone, we're a bunch of giant kids, so I think Christmas as an adult is still very fun for us.
Oh, yeah.
Other adults I talk to don't seem to have the same level of joy that I still do. So.
Yeah, because if you've listened, last week we had our Secret Santa, which was a blast.
It was.
Yeah. So Nathan brought me a wonderful, nice, thoughtful Christmas gift today.
Assortment.
An assortment of Christmas gifts. So.
Yeah.
It looked more like a foot in your ass is what it looked like.
Yeah. It was a bunch of stuff that's basically all said on it, build Kingdom Death or else.
I should have just printed out a bunch of links of how to
build.
Yeah. Like,
I got you this.
my gift for you is motivation.
And there's just like a picture of you with a knife to Ray's neck that you drew in MS Paint.
A picture of Nathan above my bed with a knife against my neck.
But it's an actual picture.
Yeah, it's a real picture.
Yeah, I snuck in.
A photograph.
Yeah. Allison sleeping in the background. It's a bright flash, and yeah.
Black Cat was there too.
Yeah, like,
it was real weird.
Yeah. Ray wondered why he woke up with a slight scratch across his neck. Yeah, motherfucker, that was real. That wasn't a nightmare. Guys, I've had the weirdest thing. I needed to talk to old people, and luckily Ray and TJ are very old. So I've had this nostalgia of wanting to watch some really shitty early 90s comedy movies. And I was trying to look them up, and I wanted to know if you guys remembered them. And I grew up on these movies, so I have watched them. The first one was fucking Folks.
Yes.
With Tom Selleck.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember that
dude
one
gets
at all.
fucked up in that movie.
Oh, my God. So I think it's one of the only movies that Tom Selleck has shaved his mustache for. He has no mustache in the movie. And
what's the use in watching it then?
He actually looks, but to me, better. Like he's but so the premise is a real dark comedy. His mom had something happen. She's in the hospital. He goes home for the first time in a long time. His dad is suffering from Alzheimer's, and so they make a pact that he's going to kill his parents so they can just be done with it. But every time he tries to get them killed, he gets fucked up. And as the movie progresses, he loses a nut, his eye, breaks his hands. He just progressively gets destroyed. And apparently, he almost won a Razzie for it because the movie was so hated.
They had Razzies back then. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Razzie's been around since at least the 80s, if I remember. Because I think that movie came out in 92.
Yeah, it was old.
Yeah. I love that movie.
It's pretty funny. I mean,
nostalgia-wise, I haven't watched it. You can't find it. It's not on Amazon. It's not on Netflix. No. Like
Tom Selleck put that sumbitch in lockdown.
I really
use that Magnum PI money.
Well, that's the thing is he's going to wait until they can have the technology to put a mustache on every scene.
Yeah, I mean,
and then he'll release it.
Well, you saw what happened with Justice League. He's like, nope, they're not there yet.
Technology isn't there yet. because like I type in Tom Selleck on Amazon, so that's now on my search list, and it has every other terrible movie he's ever made, but yet, folks, not.
Should pick up Runaway.
What's another one, Nate?
So the other one was Switch. Switch was also early 90s, and it's about a womanizer who gets murdered by one of his many lovers, and when he goes to heaven, they're like, no, you're a womanizer. We're going to teach you a lesson, and they send him back to Earth as a woman.
Who's in it?
Fuck, I can't... Mike, do you remember by chance? I told you the guy's name last night. I'm terrible with names.
No.
What's the name of the movie?
He was the bad guy on season 2 of Dexter, like the attorney.
John Lithgow?
No, that's season 4.
I know. That's funny. Miguel Prado?
No, fuck, that wasn't the same guy then. Switch 1994, 92 or something like that.
Jimmy Smith?
Yeah, that was
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I never saw it, but
Yet again, another early 90s movie that I loved growing up. Weirdly,
1991.
Mine's a little easier to find, but Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
See, that's a very popular early 90s crap movie.
You want it obscure?
Yeah, these are, I think I'm laying them down pretty heavy on the obscure comedies.
Great Outdoors.
Oh.
Great Outdoors.
I just watched that like 2 days ago.
Batteries not included?
That was pretty
not a
popular. I think that's like a
Was that
classic.
popular?
Yeah, that's a classic movie.
Yeah.
And then and this one is definitely, I think, a little bit more on that spectrum, was Overboard.
Nothing but
I
trouble.
love that movie.
Overboard was amazing.
Overboard's great.
I watched that movie so many times growing up.
I still watch that.
Nothing but trouble.
Oh,
I just watched Nothing But Trouble not too long ago. I think I mentioned it. Like that movie's getting a weird resurgence. I see more people talking about it.
I've got an obscure 90s comedy for you.
Go ahead.
Oscar.
It's
got Sylvester Stallone, Tim Curry, Marissa Tomei or whatever. It's pretty funny.
Junior?
A gangster attempts to keep the promise he made to his dying father that he would give up his life of crime and go straight.
Yeah.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Oh, I hated that movie. Like, I don't think I was a big Sly Stone comedy. Like,
Cop and a Half. You've obviously never seen Rhinestone.
Turner
if
and
you
Hooch.
think
I have not watched
if
Rhinestone.
you think Sylvester Stallone comedies are poor,
No,
that's
Top
amazing.
Dog is a Chuck Norris comedy with the dog.
K9 is another one.
What was the one with
Let's talk about our top
with Tom
dogs,
Hanks?
dog-based
Tom Hanks was Turner and
cop
Hooch.
movies
Turner and Hooch,
specifically.
yeah.
Turner
Yeah.
and Hooch. Jake and the Fat Man. Anyone remember that? That was a TV show.
I remember the TV show.
I like Cop and a Half with Burt Reynolds and the little kid.
Okay.
I do remember that, actually.
That was a good. Or the one with Clint Eastwood and the monkey.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole
Any Which
series
Way
of
But
movies.
Loose.
Yeah,
That's
Any
my
Which Way But
dad's
Loose.
favorite
Every
movie.
Which Way You Can.
Yeah,
There
anyway.
was another one in that series. Yeah,
those
that's a whole
are
series of movies.
classic. Classic, Mike.
There was actually
Classic.
a really dark 70s comedy that even when I watch to this day, it still kind of upsets me, but it's Bustin' Loose with Richard Pryor, with those kids are all mentally disturbed. And like one kid tries like set a fire. It's like a really weird movie, but it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's like
They're all on a bus.
the 80s one with Michael Keaton and Christopher Lloyd.
What was that?
Where they're breaking out of the nut house.
Crazy?
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah. God, I don't remember the name of that movie.
I can't
I
remember that
love
one
that
either.
when you think about all these like movies that because like shit movies come out every year.
Is that the Dream Team?
Yeah, but like these obscure movies that
I think
actually
so.
The Dream Team?
starred
Yeah.
people that of note. Like
What about Brain Donors with John Turturro? That was like an 80s slapstick comedy movie.
So-
Return of the Killer Tomatoes
I did
with George Clooney.
I never saw that.
Wait, what? He's in that?
Yes.
That must
I
have
do
been
not remember
some
that at all.
earliness.
It's old.
Yeah.
It's like pre-Facts of Life, I think.
So, if you listen to the show, tell us some of your favorite obscure, movies that most people have never watched, heard of, and it was just like the movies I saw. Like weirdly, my grandparents, I think, rented or something and gave to my parents, and that's how we watched them. It would have been movies we never.
My grandmother just extensively recorded Cinemax in the late 80s, early 90s, so she had this huge library.
That's pretty much, I think,
ran
how
the
it
movies.
That's why I still to this day love the movie Stone Cold with the fucking biker cop thing. That's just it's such. I rewatched it on YouTube a couple months ago. It's still a horrible movie, but horrible in a great way. If anybody ever wants to watch Stone Cold with me, I will always say yes, and I will watch it with you
Is that
because
Brian Bosworth or something?
yes,
Yeah.
next NFL dude.
Is Quigley Down Under considered a comedy in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, like,
They made it.
ironically.
That's
Mine was Temple of Doom because of this one tape. It was Temple of Doom and then a figure skating movie called The Edge or something. So I always ended up watching a good chunk of that as well.
All right, let's go to Nerd On.
yeah.
Get your nerd on. 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 Get your nerd on.
All right, welcome to the Lake City, Florida Nerd. Why the fuck did I say Lake City? Start that over.
Anyone that's listening else have Lake
North
City,
Florida
please
Gentlemen's
go ahead
Beard
and turn this
Mustache
off.
Club.
They know where I am.
Yeah, they
My
can find
witness
you now.
fucking protection program.
Little Lake City, Florida.
Chuck has joined us.
Yay!
Can tell by the smell. Cigarettes and meat. Just like a hooer house.
I don't know, man. If they have top sirloin, like, I'll give them a little bit of
These are the double entendre of penis meat.
Anyway, so this is, of course, the Nerd On, where we always review what we've been doing the past week and just let you know that we're not a bunch of posers. We are a bunch of losers, though.
Yeah, we're just losers, not
Yeah.
posers.
These guys aren't posers.
Yeah.
They just suck.
Yeah. These guys really are as lame as they claim to be. With that, let's kick it off with Ray.
It's our claim to lame.
TJ had mentioned, and I'd been looking forward to this, the Toys That Made Us documentary that was on Netflix. Finally, I guess it finally dropped, or maybe it dropped, and I didn't know.
Dropped under 22nd.
Okay, so I hadn't missed it for too long. I watched the first episode, Star Wars Toys, which was fun. Yeah, and then I started the Barbie one while I was doing some Christmas wrapping, but then I had to do some other stuff. So, so far it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, I really like the Star Wars one.
I've seen a lot of other like documentaries, but this one went real in depth into Kenner specifically, and I really enjoyed that. The premise is they are just kind of going into toys. It's called Toys That Made Us, so it's like toys that we kind of toys.
It's a show that's aimed primarily at like
toy
30
collectors
to 40-year-olds, and it's talking about how these toys kind of changed kids when they came out or whatever.
I think it's supposed to be 8 or 12 episodes. There's only 4 or 5 on there
There's
right now.
4 on there right now. It's Star
Barbie,
Wars, Barbie,
G.I.
Masters
Joe,
of the Universe, and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Kenner is pretty interesting. I listened to their story on things you should know.
Yeah.
And it's really cool, especially how they got Star Wars.
Cause they weren't shit
It
before
was
that.
Very interesting because essentially they were just there.
They were the only ones that got over on George Lucas on the marketing, too.
Yeah, because George Lucas, I think George Lucas and Fox split like a dime or something like that per every toy. No, a nickel.
No, it was a nickel.
So Kenner got 95 cents for every dollar, and they got a nickel to split between the two of them because when Star Wars was coming out, like he was keeping such a tight lid on all the different designs of stuff, so people wouldn't steal it from him. So like normally they said it takes they need 2 years advance notice to like put this stuff out. And all the companies were like, no, we're not going to do this. And toys, mostly at that time period, were from TV. They weren't from, like, movies. So this wasn't a thing that people normally did anyway.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, we're not going to do this. Everyone passed. And Kenner was the only one that was like, yeah, we'll do this. And then, of course, like, you know, if you know anything about the Star Wars stuff, you know that when that Christmas when Star Wars came out, number one, it was a phenomenon. And then when that Christmas came out, they didn't have toys ready, so they just sold a box.
Boxes.
Yeah.
Where you were supposed to get 4 characters in the mail. And they actually did it. Like most stuff like that, you're probably out of luck, but they did it. So so
Kenner's story is pretty interesting.
It's pretty cool. And like I said, just started the Barbie one, which has been pretty cool so far. Interesting. I'm interested to see how much further that goes. Cause
I made it out of a potato.
Yeah. Yeah.
Want to play
I
with
love
my
that
dolls?
Millennium Falcon, though, that they had down there that was made of wood. It's made out of mahogany.
God, yeah, they said all the early...
God, that's fucking gorgeous.
They said all the early
Mahogany
models.
Falcon?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
said all the early models they made out of hardwoods and stuff, and it's like, where are those at? Because
Yeah.
I would love.
George probably fucking like hangs out in it. You know,
You know, if it's like
On his
200
property.
grand for that prototype Boba Fett, that thing's got to be like $500,000 or something.
Oh yeah. If they're even still around.
Yeah.
Because that's the other shitty thing about that stuff. Like they didn't keep a lot of that stuff all the
Tossed
time.
out. Yeah.
But I did that. I've been watching a lot of Christmas episodes of shows. So of course today's Festivus.
Yes.
So I watched the Strike, which is on season 9, episode 10 of Seinfeld. If you're interested in watching that, one of my favorites. I love Festivus for the rest of us. So we're gonna have our we already did our grievances, airing of grievances. So now we'll do the feats of strength. Or maybe we'll wait till after the podcast for that. And then also watch.
It's not an audible thing. It's more of a visual.
Yeah. Then watched part of Allison made me turn it off, but I'm gonna finish it up. Ludachristmas on 30 Rock, because that's a great episode. Season 2, episode 9. Other than that, mostly been just Christmas stuff, man. Just getting ready for Christmas. Not a whole lot of nerding. I did finish New X-Men, so I'm trying to figure out what to read now, because I kind of want one more thing before I jump into my next big one. So I started reading some Devil Dinosaur, because I hadn't read all of those yet. There's only about 8 of them, and some Man-Thing.
Best books you've ever
so
read,
it'll take
most
you like
likely.
2 years to read through it.
Yeah, so I should be finished with those by 2019.
I'm on the third book now. Been really trolling down these pages.
But other than that, that's been
Really
about it.
dense word clouds in all the frames.
Yeah. Well, some of those X-Men ones really are when you get into the Claremont stuff.
All right. Well, Michael, what have you been nerding out on this week?
I actually got to. Oh, it's so boring. Ray's just leaving.
I'm done with this bullshit.
Mike's the worst part of the show. I actually got to watch for the first time Kong Skull Island.
Oh,
nice.
Really good.
Fucking great movie.
I have to watch that still. So.
It's really good. There's an after credit scene, so make sure to watch it. I did not know that.
Your Blu-ray of Logan back.
I don't know if I watched it myself.
There is an after credit scene that does hint at sequels.
Yeah, the Godzilla.
Just go ahead and say it right now.
Well, no, I mean they were.
It's going to hold it off for TJ.
It's been a few months, so
whatever.
I think spoiler frame is past at this point. So.
Well, still, I'll, if it's just like nobody cares about that spoiler, so I'd like to keep it, on the DL.
Gotcha.
But other than that, I mean, that's really about it. I've got vacation next week, so I had to, do basically 2 weeks of work in 1 week. So
had the extra bust of crime.
Yeah, fucking I had to bust some real hard crime. But I was able to get some shit done. Got to go to the Hall Powder Brewery, charcuterie night. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Got to eat some salumi and some grapes. Ray was there for 5 minutes.
I missed out though. They were already out by the time I got there.
Yeah, it's really weird though because I ran into Hal from my old job.
Oh wow,
which is very odd. He's just a person I used to work with. I just never thought I'd see him in a social situation, hang out with a 60-year-old man,
especially
who's not
there.
my father. Him and Fraser were there.
Wow.
Kelsey Grammer's character,
yes.
Fraser.
Yeah.
He was there. But really, that is about it. Still playing Assassin's Creed Unity. A lot better than I originally thought. It's kind of got me back into the series, so I'm definitely looking forward to playing Origins, which I should be getting in 2 days. We will see.
2 days?
I'm trying to get back into a big game again. I just haven't been able to do it.
Do Skyrim. Did you ever beat Skyrim?
No.
Do Skyrim.
That's a big game. That's a big-ass game.
It's just every time I try to play one of those, I just can't. I can't get into it.
Just play Fallout again.
I couldn't get into it.
What?
I couldn't
try
get into
Origins.
Fallout.
Try Assassin's Creed Origins. I've heard really good things about it. Like it's like a revitalization of the series type thing.
I think it's a matter of investing the time in it.
Just do Skyrim with mods. Then it's a lot of fun. That's what I did.
I actually saw a new Skyrim post. It's like Skyrim on this platform and it's on the Pokemon Go.
Because they're putting Skyrim everywhere now.
The Switch. Did you see the Nintendo Switch starter pack? And it was like dude with the handle up his ass, because implying they talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chuck.
It's been a good week. Ooh.
Ooh.
Mm. Nice.
That fucking Moon Knight.
Mm.
That's a cool figure.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
very nice. Very nice.
Hey.
Oh, dang. Trying to get a job.
A watch pot never boils.
Yeah. I still don't know what it is.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
I'm in no hurry. I know. I understand it, but I'm just.
You can just act out what you got us. Just act it out.
What if it's a blowjob?
Oh, okay. I mean,
It was going to act it out
we're
anyway.
gonna take one for the team.
Why are
I
we waiting
guess.
for that to come?
What did you
All
have
you
to
gotta wait
ship
for to
in?
come is right here. The penis coming. Orgasm.
TJ.
Gay. Really? That's what was funny?
That's the funniest you've ever been on here.
That's funny when you
I
were
watched-
swallowing.
I watched that Toys That Made Us. I watched the first episode.
Which
of
is right
that.
down
What
your
toys
alley.
made
Yeah.
you, TJ? Were you assembled on the line at Mattel? Hi, TJ, it's me,
That GoBot.
G.I. Jefferson. I don't know their names.
Let's see.
Sidewinder.
Watching
Isn't that a G.I. Joe
Star
name?
Wars Rebels.
Psykill? No, that's from
That's a GoBot.
GoBot.
Star.
Charmander. Isn't that a G.I. Joe?
It's Pokemon.
I like that you had to stop to correct him. That's what we're talking about with this nerd on.
There you go.
That's what we do here.
Yes.
Well, actually, Mike,
What about Navy Dave? Is that one?
sounds like someone's stepdad.
so yeah,
Navy Dave or Biff Hanger? That's another one.
not a whole lot else. Been doing some Facebook debating, which has been kind of fun, but
Oh yeah, it's
I
fun.
have to step back a little bit from that. So
Well, just don't let it get to you. Just
No, I'm
stay on the
not.
outside of it.
I'm not. I like just kind of stirring the pot a little bit, and
We can tell.
Yeah, I love that people are talking about. I don't even know if I want to get into this. Whatever. But people are like, "Oh, everyone that liked Star Wars is so butthurt over if you didn't like it." But it's like it's kind of both ways, and I don't give a fuck if you have a bad opinion about Star Wars.
No.
You're not hurting me any,
no,
but I'm still gonna fucking make fun of you.
yes,
Well, you don't have to be so vocal about it. Everybody has to,
Yeah.
say, "Oh, it was so
I
terrible."
absolutely didn't go to the movie and then immediately post online on all my social medias how much I loved it and how everyone's wrong about not liking it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's cool to not like Star Wars.
It's cool to not like anything.
yeah.
That's the truth.
I think that's something that I hate when people talk about hipsters, quote unquote, but I think that's something negative that has seeped into like the populace, like just hating things for the sake of hating them, so you're cooler for hating them. Anyway,
I don't know.
that's something else entirely.
I remember back in the day when you hated shit for just hating shit,
Do you know why the
not because it was cool.
the hipster got mad that you threw him in the river? Because he became mainstream.
All right. Is that it for your nerd on TJ?
Yeah, that's about it.
Let's go to the news. Ray, news.
All I want to do is read the news. I
got a feeling.
I'm very much like the rest of these guys, working the old retail. So I really haven't done much. I did
Getting those numbers up there.
get my numbers,
up there,
Get my
man.
numbers.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up,
Yeah,
boy.
I got big boy numbers. I did get my iPhone 10.
Nice.
I was very
Congrats.
Wait, is it the 10 or the X? I thought it was the X.
It's actually called the 10.
Is it called the 10? Okay.
10.
I've been told it's actually called the 10, but I've also been told it's actually called the X.
The
So
people
I
that
don't
told
know.
you the X were wrong.
I don't
'Cause Apple
really care.
Was it somebody named X-Pac by any chance? Because I think he would be
I'm sorry,
biased.
that's 10 Pac.
10 Pac. What? Did you see that Vin Diesel movie, Triple 10?
I was going to say, Chuck, I noticed that you're still carrying your shit phone and not the brand new iPhone that you were gifted last Sunday.
Your brand new iPhone 5S.
Yeah. You don't
You
gotta
don't have to
that.
pay to activate it, do you?
What?
Don't they give those out for free?
His phone uses an older type SIM card.
You can cut it. I can get you a cutter. I can get you a cutter for like $5.
How much? Where's your cutter, man?
You
That's
need
too
a
much
cutter?
for a cutter, man.
You need
I know
a
a cutter.
You got a cutter guy?
I do a lot
I
cheaper.
can get you a cutter.
I can
You
get
need
you
a
a
cutter? Okay, I can get you a cutter.
I got a cutter guy for insurance purposes. I don't know if it's the same kind of cutter guy.
But yeah, so got the 10.
Same guy.
To tech out on it. It's an okay phone. I thought I was gonna like it a lot more. I kind of am not enjoying that's the wrong word. The Face ID.
Too convenient, right?
It's not convenient. I hate having to swipe up
Why?
because my phone was unlocked with my 7 by the time it was in my face. While I was pulling out my pocket, I could touch my thumbprint and it'd be open for me. Having to look and swipe up, I don't like extra steps. That's why I got rid of my Note. Because I got the Note 8, it was too many steps. It just didn't make sense.
Have you checked accessibility to change
Yeah,
that?
I did. I changed all that stuff. You have to swipe up, that's my issue with it. If I didn't swipe up,
Does it not have the fingerprint at all? It's only face
it's just
recognition?
it's face and pin.
Huh. Oh, okay, so it will do pin.
Yeah, you still do a pin.
Okay.
But here's the thing: if you don't do the Face ID, you're just being stupid because the phone's scanning your face no matter what. Because people are like, "Well, I don't want Apple to be able to get my face."
No, they got your face.
It's the phone is
Why
constantly
the fuck
scanning
would you care
your
if
face.
they had your face?
People are
People
very
get weird
wary
about weirder things.
Like we sell the smart speakers, Google Home stuff like that. Every
Yeah.
time there's multiple customers, I don't want the NSA hearing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But they're already listening.
Don't worry, hear
And
that
they
shit.
already got it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the other day
Speaker ain't gonna help
computer
anymore.
stuff. There was a person that had turned we were giving out video cameras and stuff, and had it like turned backwards, and we're like, do you fucking think that we're just sitting around logging on watching you go
Well, I will
stare at the screen?
Now
stare
it
at the
works
screen,
one thing,
type?
but I do know for a fact that they say it's very easy for people to hack in to webcams.
You know what they're going to see? They're going to
You
see
naked?
They're
Well,
going
yeah,
to they're
work
going
there.
to see my they're going to see my man tits
Yeah.
sitting there with Cheeto dust on my belly while I'm looking up fucking games and
For
shit.
ladies, I
Maybe
get
your
it.
credit card is going to be, visibly on display in the background.
But that's so but I do like the 10 size. I like the large screen handheld. It's not as big. So
Is it nice it going all the way out to the edges?
Yeah, I do like that.
You like that?
Like I said, there's stuff I like about it, and I don't hate the Face ID. Once I'm in the phone, I like it for passwords. I do agree with Mike. We kind of talked about it. Once I'm in the phone, I really do enjoy how it just automatically knows it's you, so you don't have to put passwords in all the time.
Do they have
So
a
That's
smaller one? Or
nice.
is it all
Yeah.
the big phones?
it's just that one. That's the
It's
only
not
side.
big.
It's got a
Is it?
5.8 inch screen, which is bigger than the Plus models, but it's in a smaller package.
Yeah.
So the phone's somewhere in the middle
No.
with a
I
bigger screen.
just have really gotten used to that 6S or that regular size.
It's bigger than the 6S.
I
It's-
really like the
But
Plus
it's
now
got
that I have
It's
it.
got a size.
The size on there to me is perfect. I love how it feels in the hand. I love the screen on it.
That's not too bad because it's
We're comparing now.
it's about as wide as the older phones, but
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
okay.
But you're getting actually more screen for
I just hated having to reach across on like the notes
How
and the
durable is
pluses.
It kind of reminds me of the 5S.
It's a lot lighter too. What kind of case do you have on it? Oh, just a normal case. Okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
My PIN code doesn't work on it.
That's weird. I thought we shared the same one. But with that, the camera, everything else is, it's still, it's an iPhone. So it, I don't know why. I was thinking I was going to be wowed. And I'm just, that's good. It's a new phone. Cool. Yeah, but
I enjoy it a lot. Like, I feel it helps me use my phone a lot more. More easily use it. I don't need to use my phone anymore. I use it enough as it is. But I really enjoy it. The wireless charging, super cool. It works with my my Charge Force wireless battery and some other stuff I have.
that's cool. But to me, that's such old tech. It's not that big of a deal.
I had a case that did that with my. I mean, Chuck's got it now.
Yeah.
I have the wireless stuff. I'll give you that, by the way.
I'm not saying it's cutting edge. I'm saying that it's convenient.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's nice to be able to do it with an iPhone, but those aren't wow features to me. That's not like, oh shit. I'm like, okay, I can finally wirelessly charge my phone.
You should have already been doing that iPhone.
Apple should have done that 3 years ago. It's nice to be able to do it. So I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, there's things where I'm like, it's nice to finally have these features. The other thing, I really hate the control panel being at the top and not the bottom.
That took me a little while to get used to.
Because I'm so used to swiping up. Because I use my calculator a lot. That's my and I could do that.
Flashlight and camera.
It took me about a week to get used to it.
Yeah, because I could one hand swipe up, get there. Now I have to, But little things like overall, I think I'm gonna like the phone. I was really excited because the camera, like the upgrade on the camera, and the the video shoots beautiful 4K.
Yeah, it takes gorgeous photos and pictures.
So those things I am very happy with and very impressed with it. So and besides that, playing a lot of XCOM. It's just getting harder. More aliens are coming out, and this
Andromedons. He got some Andromedons going.
Yeah,
Nice.
finally coming to those guys. I'm just tired of having to reload every time to kill one of my guys. I've only had it once or twice, but damn it.
No!
But that is it for the Nerd On. Merry Christmas. We're going to go to news.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to the newsman of the evening, Jimmy Ray Hancock. Come on now. He's with the news. You're gonna read the news now. Jimmy Ray, he's reading the news. Hey Ray, what type of news you got tonight? Well, I hope it's good, 'cause it's Ray with the news. Here we go. Ray's with the news jam. Ray's reading the news jam. Ray's reading the news jam. Ray's reading the news jam.
All right. Well, Nathan had to leave. He's got Christmas shit to go do. So it's just the...
No, guys, I'm still here. Don't worry.
Oh, man, we were worried that you weren't going to be able to stick around, but I guess you will be able to.
Well, I just don't care about my family anymore. The podcast is my real family.
Yeah, I think most of us feel that way. Okay, so we got new stuff, and Nathan's here, thank God. So we watched a bunch of trailers. There were a bunch of trailers. Let's talk about a few of them. Nutcracker and the Four Realms is a new Disney film that's coming out in 2018. It looks like what Tim Burton style. It looks like, I don't know who's doing it.
Guillermo del Toro-esque.
Oh, it's not him though, right?
No, I'm saying it looks like it.
Yeah, it's kind of that weirdish type thing.
Kind of weird, like ethereal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know these.
Everything's the
Joe
dream.
Johnson and Last Hellstorm. Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Fake names.
Yeah, those must be fake names.
Less Hellstorm.
Let's see. He did Chocolat and Cider House Rules, Gilbert Grape.
That explains the cinematography.
Joe Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the Hellstorm guy. Joe Johnson did something with Captain America and The Rocketeer. He was the director in The Rocketeer and the first Captain America film.
Yeah,
so,
that's where I thought I recognized
and Jurassic
his name
Park
from.
3 and October Sky. Okay, so these are.
So what does Hellstorm do? Is he a cinematographer?
No, they're both directing it.
Oh.
I guess they're, which is a weird thing. I feel like that would be like a really shitty job to be dual directing with someone.
They could be directing different portions of the film.
Yeah,
That's
I don't think they're like sitting in an extra wide chair, like with two like fucking action things, arguing.
Yeah, you're seeing it a lot lately, though. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, but you have stuff like the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
Coens have done it for
Coens
years.
have done it for years.
The Wachowski siblings or I guess they're sisters now.
Yeah, because they both switched.
Did they really? I thought only one switched.
No,
okay.
the other one
for a
did
while
too.
it was just the one.
Yeah.
Okay,
the second
okay.
one.
So now it's just Wachowski sisters.
Well, going back to the sisters, what do we think of Nutcracker? The trailer.
I don't know. I mean,
nothing looks amazing, and it looks cool. It'll probably be interesting to watch, but it doesn't excite me.
it's not blowing up her skirts.
No.
Yeah.
Ocean's 8, the new Ocean's film.
Kind of same thing. It just felt like the same thing, just kind of
It looks like a fun,
like a smooth heist film, and I kind of just.
I liked Ocean's 11 when it first came out, but that's been 20 years or more probably now.
Well, I liked Ocean's 11, but like 12 and 13 was kind of the same, and this looks.
I watched 12 when it first came out, and I never saw 13, so I don't know if I liked them or not.
12 had this really weird, slow thing in the middle that just I wasn't a fan of.
And this just looks like they took off some numbers and just changed everybody to women.
Yeah. Stargate Origins.
Well, they'd have to because they can't replace Bernie Mac.
No.
That's the truth.
No.
You moisturize?
R.I.P.
Stargate Origins. Basically, to me, looked like it looked like Indiana Jones with ladies.
I was expecting Brendan Fraser to come rolling out at any pin.
Because it looked like the
old
Mummy.
Mummy, yeah.
Yeah, it had that vibe to it. I've never... I haven't been real involved in the Stargate franchises.
No.
I watched the Universe one.
That's the one I heard that was really, really good.
Well, I think they were trying to... ride on the coattails of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Because it had a high budget. It was well done. Cinematography was good. But the show just kind of fizzled out because, it's no Battlestar Galactica.
It only went for 1 or 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
2? Yeah. I never watched it. It's been on list of mine forever, on my Netflix list, on my Hulu list, but
I know
never
Atlantis
jumped into
went
It's one of those
forever,
things
though.
it really did.
that you put on your list and you're like, I want to watch that one day.
One day.
You know that you're never going to.
No, I intended to. I just never got around to it.
Like finishing the 3rd season of Millennium, I'll just never do it.
Man, I hate it when I do that shit. When I'm I like a show, and then I just never go back to it. I do that all the fucking time. Let's see. What else do we have? So, there was a Peter Jackson movie, Mortal Engines. So, that, to me, came out of nowhere.
Looks like Howl's Moving Castle meets Mad Max Fury Road.
I hadn't heard anything about this. I didn't know what was going on. And then this trailer came on. And it's got, kind of a steampunk vibe to it, which you don't always get in modern in films in general.
I think the Wild Wild West kind of killed it for a while.
Maybe Wild Wild West. You get a little bit of that in some of the Sherlock Holmes films.
Yeah, that's about as close as you're going to get in the Victorian era. But especially with Sherlock Holmes because of the little gadgets and stuff that were a part of it.
But this looks really, really fucking interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what it's about. The trailer was very cryptic. It borrowed a lot. It reminded me of the Dishonored game as kind of the art style. So I'm really interested to see where it goes.
It did exactly what I feel like a trailer should do and made me really interested in this.
My interest.
Yeah.
Yep, and didn't tell me what the movie was about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sicario 2. We got a trailer for that. Ooh, Chuck's excited.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm concerned. Well, our good man Dennis is not directing it, and Emily Blunt's not in it, which is fine. But the original movie was more than just, often cartel dudes. There was a little bit more to it, and it had it was a criticism, a message about the war on drugs and how the U.S., deals with that stuff and just cartels in general, the reality of it. And I hope that this movie, follows the same vein and is not just a shoot 'em up. I mean, it'll be cool if it's just a shoot 'em up, but that's not the point of the series.
Well, do you think this could be just to get people in the seats?
It might be because it looks like they're focusing more on what made the movie popular, because the Benicio del Toro character, ended up kind of being a bigger character than they originally let on in the movie. And you could argue that he was actually the main character, if not a main character in the series, as opposed to a supporting character. And it's kind of like Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It would be like Boba Fett. It would be like Boba Fett getting his own movie.
Oh.
Well, I mean, that was just, his character was amazing. Brolin was an asshole and Blunt didn't know what the fuck was going on. So it was just... I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it and what direction they're taking with it. I think is going to be pretty scary. Benicio del Toro has always been scary. The scariest role I remember him was as Dr. Gonzo and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Wow.
I just want to cut a fucking Z in your forehead, man.
I didn't even realize that was him. God,
Yeah.
it's been a while since I watched that movie. I need to watch.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to try to get Allison to
I
watch it.
liked him in Usual Suspects.
Oh, he's awesome in Usual.
Usual
The Way of the
Suspects
Gun
is so
with
good.
Brian Philippi. That movie was awesome.
Cool.
Sorry.
So we also got some news, some Marvel news. Marvel Comics
Big surprise.
canceled a bunch of titles. Defenders, Gwenpool, Hawkeye, Generation X, America, Iceman, Luke Cage, and there's a few more that aren't necessarily confirmed to be canceled. But looks like a lot of them next year are not going to be coming back. And Dan Slott, who's been writing Spider-Man for maybe over a decade now, apparently is going to be leaving the series pretty soon.
Yep.
So that's some more. He's a pretty vocal guy, so it didn't seem like this was him being pushed out kind of thing. Maybe
it
more.
seems like he might have just told all the stories he really had to tell in that
It would
format.
probably be good at this point for like Bendis a couple of months ago. It's probably good for him to move on to something else because he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Sales is the reason they gave out.
Yeah, it looks like the sales are pretty low. There are some other. There's of course some controversy because Hawkeye's a lady that's writing it. I think Gwenpool is as well. Luke Cage, Iceman, America, Generation X. These are all like minority characters and stuff going on.
So like B-side characters.
There is also that. There's some other things, like there's some other comics that are selling as low and maybe lower that...
Hawkeye has had some real critical acclaim, though, on it for years.
Not this one. This one has a little bit. This isn't the same one. This is Kate.
Oh, this is Kate Bishop. Okay.
Yeah, this is Kate Bishop on this one. So it's not... Yeah, so it's not Clint Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
So
that's more understandable then.
Yeah, but it still has had some critical acclaim.
Yeah.
It's just not as big as like the Fraction.
Yeah.
Hawkeye. Fraction hasn't been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So there's, of course, it's one of those things like the internet. The internet, guys. The internet.
We'll be talking about that.
We
in
were
a little
talking
bit.
about. Yeah.
I'm glad net neutrality has been repealed because people don't need opinions anymore.
I'm
They're just
absolutely
terrible.
to that point where I'm like, you don't deserve your opinion. When we can start getting along better, you can have it back.
Yeah,
So says, 5 dudes yelling into microphones
About our opinions.
It's not that.
Our
It's just
opinions are right. Your opinions are wrong.
that's the
I just feel like
kind of thing that I am not liking is you have to either hate something or you have to love it. You can't be in the middle ground.
Well, there's no debate on it.
No.
You're automatically in one camp or the other, and fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's this. I say it all the time. It's just big. I'm right. Circle jerk is all it is.
Exactly.
And nobody really gives a fuck about the actual media in which they are debating. Let me break my fingers using air quotes there.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, Luke Cage. That's crazy. They canceled Luke Cage just because
I assume Defenders and Luke Cage will probably be back. There's other stuff like Jessica Jones. Bendis is leaving.
They may change the name of it too. They may go to like Heroes for Hire.
Yeah.
And
Captain Marvel was one of the ones that wasn't on the solicit. This is the thing. It's all not been on the solicitation, and then some of the writers and artists have said on Twitter, "Hey, yeah, this is being canceled." Captain Marvel wasn't on there. Huh?
Guardians of the Galaxy is getting canceled.
Yeah, but it's not getting canceled.
They're changing it.
They're changing it because there's going to be since Marvel decided after Secret Empire that there wasn't going to be another big event for 8 months or more longer. Now they're doing an Infinity event. Thanks, Marvel.
Yeah.
So
I gotta get that money, man.
Exactly.
So
after that, there's probably gonna be some shakeups. So we'll see what happens after that.
Michael Eisner writing Deadpool. Mickey Mouse writing X-Men.
Mickey Pool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different. It's so
Kind of on the vein of Squirrel Girl.
It's in that area, but it's also in the area of Deadpool 2, because it's a character who is not a comic book character. She's a real world character, and her superpower is she knows about continuity. So it's a very like kind of sort of meta kind of thing, and people love that shit. They love that shit.
That sounds like it'd be a perfect trade paperback fodder, though.
Exactly, and that was the thing, because Squirrel Girl's one that like has low-ish sales, but the trades do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you're not going to get anything spoiled in it. You're not, this isn't DC's Metal or Infinity whatever's coming out or Secret Empire. You're not like worried. Oh no, am I going to have issue 16 of Squirrel Girl spoiled for me if I don't buy it this week? Squirrel Girl is actually a very, very fun. It's a pretty smart comic. The jokes in it are pretty good. And a lot of fanboys like hate it because it's like it's making fun of us. It's making fun of people who put everything they have into comic books and love, actually, guys. It makes fun of all those people, and it does a good job of it. It's pretty witty, but fanboys hate the fuck out of it. Don't even read it and want it to be canceled. And it's like, it's not even hurting you. People like this. So I don't know. Gwenpool, we'll see what happens with that. The other characters, I was enjoying Generation X. It's been popping up on Marvel Unlimited, and I've actually got the actual issues. I just haven't got to dig into them. But when I'm having my lunch and everything, I get to go through that. And I've read the first 3 or 4, and I like it.
That reminds me of my other NerdOn I forgot about. I
Tell me.
Resubscribed to Marvel Unlimited. I had it turned off for a while, but they put the Star Wars comics on there.
And you've got a backlog of those.
Is it still super affordable at $9.99 per month?
Actually, if you buy a whole year, you can get it for $5.85.
Holy shit, that's a deal.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys, y'all want to move on to the mailbag?
Yeah.
We'll do that and do the other.
All right, guys, so this is the segment of the show where we answer your questions. The first question we have here is from Wes from Facebook. He says, have either of the nerds been to the Skeletons Museum in Orlando? If so, what did you think of it? No.
I haven't been to that. I've been to the they have the thing in Vegas where they have like the bodies that are like
I think that's actually in Orlando too.
And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's I forget what it's called.
The human body? I think it's just called that.
Yeah, something like that. But they have like these people have donated their bodies to be used in artwork, and so they have like this arm, for instance, and the arm is like sliced really thin, and then it's kind of laid over, and they'll have stuff where it's just the muscles and stuff like that. They actually. That was in Orlando for a while. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if that's actually I don't think that's what he's talking about. It may be. Funny enough, I'm sure it's a similar type thing.
There used to be, like near where I'm at, there was a place called the Bone Garden. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this was probably in the 20s or 30s or something like that. I don't know all the history about it. I just know that there was a place here, Aunt something's Bone Garden, and people would come from all around to go look at it. The pictures are pretty creepy, but pretty cool. It's a weird thing that happened in Lake City. So that's Mike. You know
I remember seeing the pictures of it. You know
about that?
Applebee's.
Yeah. Davey asked, for making dioramas, what is a good site for ideas / materials for 1/12 scale figure? So this is not what y'all do. Y'all do 1/6 scale.
Yeah,
but a lot of
the principles are going to be the same.
Yeah.
I actually directed him off the question and sent him to a Facebook group that I joined. It's called Dial Structures.
Okay.
They do everything from like 1/12 to 1/6 and 1/4 and stuff like that. Yeah. So they do a lot of different types of things on there, and if you ask questions, they'll be sure to help you out or point you in the right direction. So. If you look around, you'll find something.
Yeah, I know with a lot of my miniatures that the scale's real weird with.
I would also probably check Twitch just because I know a lot of people do like cosplay tutorials and live streams on Twitch, and I'm sure there are probably a lot who do dioramas and other things
And
as
YouTube.
well.
Yeah, YouTube. I know.
Huge bean.
Well, there were a couple of tips for the things that I did because a lot of people do basing for the things and make the bases.
Tip of the dick all the way to the base, right?
But they'll take the normal little
Penis.
bases that are
And make
on
it
the
huge, shake 'em fucking thick and meaty.
and make them a little more dynamic and everything. And they'll use the miniature stuff that people use for like trains and stuff like that. But one thing they were saying that with ground rocks and stuff like that are a little too big because they look giant
because it's too big.
So they'll use like cat litter for stuff like that. So
Get the pussy litter.
that's weird. All right, so moving on. Brian asks, he's got a few questions here for the mailbag,
Let's
so
break
hold
them down one
on.
by one.
One by one.
Yeah.
All right, I
What
was
if it's
wondering
all
if any of y'all are
run
watching
on site?
Gotham, and if
Nope.
so, is it worth getting into?
Nope.
I've seen bits and pieces, and it looks thin, but I don't want to put the time into it if it's not very good.
Just take your save your time and go lift some more.
No, I've watched a bunch of Gotham, but Gotham is, I think it's like 24 episodes a season. So I think I've seen most of season
really,
2.
There's 6 seasons of Gotham.
Yeah, there's
Lord.
a ton of episodes. Here's the thing I'll say about Gotham. It is very, very divided on whether people will like it or hate it. People that want Batman are gonna hate it. People that are okay being like, okay, this is a completely different story, it just happens to have some characters that I know of from the Batman mythology, might like it. I think it has some really good characters in it. Penguin is excellent. I think the guy that does the Riddler is really good.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey is really good in it.
Yeah.
I don't love Fish, but she can be a good character.
I prefer steak.
There's a lot of interesting things about the show. So I can't say whether you'll like it or love it or hate it. Like I said, I've watched it. I will probably keep watching it eventually.
Brian will hate it. Don't watch it.
Brian will probably hate it. But it's a thing I can watch. It's not a thing that I feel like, it's not like a Game of Thrones or something like that where it's like, fuck, I gotta get back on this as soon as it comes out. So, it could go either way. I was wondering if there are a particular sci-fi movie you guys loved in the 80s that you would want to see remade today. For me, as cheesy as Running Man was, I'd be curious to see a reboot of that. And as y'all may well know, I'm obsessed with Predators. Not Child, but Alien. We're getting a reboot of that next year, but something tell it won't be any good. I don't know. I go back and forth. There are certain things that I wish would be remade, but I want them to be remade well, and that's the problem. Because the amount of good remakes that we've gotten, I think you can count on one hand, usually.
The only 80s movie that I would like to see actually kind of was remade, and that was The Thing.
How did you feel about the remake?
Sequel was not bad.
Was it a sequel or a remake?
It was a prequel.
Oh, okay.
But they did use CGI, obviously, but I feel they used a good marriage between CGI and practical effects.
Okay, which is always great.
The acting was good. I love Joel Edgerton, who actually plays the orc guy in Bright.
Okay.
And also Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is awesome. 10 Clover Lane. She was Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim. She was the cheerleader and Death Proof. So a lot of cool different stuff.
Right. I can't. If I could get someone good on it, I would like to see. I don't know. I just love that movie so much. I was going to say The Never-Ending Story, but fantasy.
I think
falls
that's the
into
same.
it.
I think that would fall in the same thing.
Well, those movies were perfect. like that, and like the Never-Ending Story. Like the last Starfighter was very weird because it used those Atari style like graphics for like the ship scenes and whatnot, and weirdly enough, I'm okay with it. It works. Never-Ending Story, I think, is another movie that hasn't really aged. Maybe with puppetry and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, some of the special effects could be better, but they could also be worse.
You know what I want to see a remake of? Fucking Return to Oz, that creepy ass movie.
That thing is creepy.
I could see a Never-Ending Story being put out that would be a little closer to the books too.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they tried to make a modern one, and that was that third one with Jack Black and everything, and it just
never mind.
It didn't do. I mean, it killed the series.
Yeah,
those.
I don't know. It'd be
great.
I don't know.
If it was good, I would want it.
I love the movie so much. I actually fucking need to read the book from it because I've never done that. Because I didn't know it was a real book for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
The Never-Ending Book.
There's this movie back in the 80s that was Chris Christopherson, and it was I think it was called Millennium.
Yeah, I remember Millennium.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a new take on that.
Especially because that movie is fucking dated. It's like
really dated.
It's like Altered States dated.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome movie. Real hard sci-fi. Involves time travel. He's a crash investigator, right?
Airplane crash inspector.
Yeah, and a plane crashes, and he's investigating it, obviously, because that's what his job is. And it's just really cool. Super 80s dated mystery, but that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's the only one I could really think of when he said that. So, okay.
Watcher in the Woods.
All right. Percy says, what is one thing in pop culture that you love, but everyone else seems to hate?
Star Wars The Last Jedi.
For real. In reverse, what is one thing that you hate that everyone seems to love? So first, let's talk about the thing we love that everyone seems to hate. Yeah, Star Wars Last Jedi seems like one right now. Battleship's a good one. I would current X-Men comics I'm still enjoying, but a lot of people fucking hate that.
Mm-hmm. Chuck, go ahead.
To people that like wrestling.
There's always been that, except for that little time in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
Is that the one you hated? You hated wrestling during that time period?
I think it's because the type of people, the type of adults that watch wrestling. There are very few people, that act socially adjusted and like wrestling as adults, and if they do, they're pretty low key about it. I love wrestling. I don't watch it every day, but I mean, it's just it's something you kind of have to keep on the DL because it's considered something that children like, and if you're an adult who likes it, then you're weird.
I think some with all the movies and stuff, it's a little bit different, a little more acceptable. But I think comic books are still sort of like that. People think you're weird if you read comic books.
Well, that's the thing is,
read them.
Comic book superheroes are in vogue, but actually reading comic books are not.
Yeah, because a lot of people think, these comic movies are probably making comics skyrocket, like sales and everything, but they really don't. They don't bring in new readers.
Well, you probably see spikes in sales on like famous omnibuses and graphic novels like Long Halloween and things like that.
I think what it actually does is if Thor comes out, I'm not a Thor fan. Maybe I'll go back and read some Thor back issues. I think because I'm an avid comic book reader, but from everything I've read from people posting stuff from that work at and own comic book shops, the movies don't really do anything for them.
Yeah.
Well, the comic book world is also still quite intimidating
that is true
to a novice.
Yeah. I think it's even worse with all the number ones and stuff, because now it's which number one do I start with first?
That also doesn't stop people wanting to read back issues. I mean, just because a story's old doesn't mean it's bad.
No, I mean, that's what I'm getting at it's everybody says that they're intimidated because, Superman's at 900 or whatever else. But, then you got all these Superman #1s, and it's like, which fucking Superman #1 do I start with?
I think when you walk into a comic book shop, though, usually you're going to buy what's on the shelf right now. And so I can see where that can be helpful. Like 1 through 16 is like less, a little bit more than a year old, so you can grab those and know that that's all the same story. But I don't know if there's any good way to do that.
No.
Because, like you said, 900 and something is intimidating.
It is.
But 30 different #1s is also intimidating.
Yeah.
Marvel's been doing a thing now where they have the name of the story on top, and it'll be one of such and such.
That's not bad.
I don't know if that helps or not, because still jumping into this, you're jumping into all of this continuity.
Yeah.
So I've done it most of my life, so I can still do that.
Yeah.
But other people, I can jump in, know I'm going to be lost for a while, have to read a few issues to figure out, maybe do some research to figure out who these people are or what's going on, but I'm okay with that.
Well, people don't like to figure things out anymore. They just want it handed to them. So
Wikipedia is very helpful.
Yeah. I feel like a person that is trying to figure out comic books and get into comic books is a person... Well, I feel like they're the kind of person that's not going to be like that doesn't necessarily just want to be handed it to them. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you just got to do it. But in the reverse of that, what is it that that everyone loves and that you hate? For me,
Fast and Furious movies.
I don't know.
I feel that's low hanging fruit, though.
Yeah, I would say Doctor Who, and I don't know if I would say hate it, but I just still don't get it.
Yeah,
I've watched
think I'm the only one here in the room that really likes it.
Likes it, yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Isn't that like 100 years ago?
Yeah, someone was on PBS when we were kids.
It's just something I can't really get into, and I don't love British productions of things, usually with the exception of the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
And I have to...
So much production value goes into that.
It really does.
With all the cake CG and stuff.
But I can only take that in, little spurts. I can't,
you gotta
binge
go to
on
Publix and get a pound cake,
and
lemon pound cake to... I gotta get one now. Never mind. It's good.
So what about you guys?
Like I said, there's easy stuff like Twilight and all that stuff. I think Doctor Who is a good answer, just because it is still it is really popular. Anime in general,
yeah, that's a big one for me. I just can't do it.
I don't hate it, and I've watched some that I
don't hate it. I just don't get into it. There's not a lot of things that I actively hate.
No, because I watched Voltron. I think that's anime-ish. I watched the Castlevania. I've watched Attack on Titan.
I don't like, personally, I just don't like really anymore, I guess, the style of it. And some of the stories are bad. It's just, it's really bad dialogue, overly emphasized, emotion. I don't know, it's not, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Yeah. And I don't know if it's a kid adult thing in my mind, not that that's what it is, but that's how my mind is just, it just, like I said, I don't know, it doesn't, when I think of Japanese culture, now, I don't really think of anime anymore.
I think hate is a very, very strong word for this, because there are a lot of things that I don't care so much about.
I don't think he implied we wanted
no.
Something that a lot of people love that I don't really care for would be because I didn't answer that part earlier. Yeah. Horror movies, I just don't care for them.
Yeah,
not a big fan of them.
I used to love horror movies, and now I could.
It really depends for me. I like a specific type of horror movie. I like supernatural thrillers, and even those can be jumbled. It seems like it's either a really poorly written out ghost movie, or it's just a run of the mill slasher movie.
Yeah, I had my run where I was real into horror movies. I had my run where I was really into independent films and really into old classics and stuff like that. But now I just don't care that much.
I think it's because you have less time. Like I find myself
Maybe.
I find my interest focusing on specific things, and it will move from time to time.
Yeah.
But I don't have the opportunity to sit and play video games for 6 to 8 hours anymore at a time. So the games I play are more focused, and I feel like that is just a natural thing. I still want to be a kid and play games, but I just don't have that opportunity. And I think that those kind of extraneous novel hobbies kind of eventually get pared down to just what you give a shit about.
Yeah, because I think gaming could be one of those things too. I love playing board games and that kind of stuff, but I just don't care about video games very much.
Well,
I don't hate them. I don't hate people that play them.
Well, like the TV shows you guys talk about, for example, I don't have Netflix. I don't have the regular internet, at my house, so I can't stream. I can't play online, and that sucks a lot of the times. But I also don't miss it. I have other things I fill my life with. It is equally wasteful of time, probably, but that's just how it is. That's how I prefer to. I'm the majority of my time now. I listen to audiobooks. That's pretty much what I do. I'll sit on my back porch, hang out outside. I'll watch maybe a movie a week. I'll maybe watch a TV show or two. But other than that,
Sounds like a pretty good life.
Yeah, since I've been driving a lot more again, I'm listening to a lot more books. So.
Oh, yeah.
And then with my job, I have hours of time to listen to music now. So, like, I've got into stuff I never thought I would get into, and that's because all I had time for at the time was, my ride home and to listen to music at my old job, and all I wanted to do was listen to audiobooks. So I never really got around to it. But now I got some doom metal under my belt, some new indie pop. A bunch of cool shit, but my schedule had to fit for that opportunity to happen.
Yeah.
And maybe in the future when I have a huge amount of time, I might get an anime, because there's a lot like when you posted the anime question.
Yeah, a lot
there
of
were
people
a lot
posted
of stuff,
some good
that
stuff.
I didn't know about. I mean, obviously the Cowboy Bebops and everything.
Oh, yeah.
The classics are going to be there, but there was some stuff people were just talking about it colloquially, like you're supposed to know about it, and it wasn't like you're an idiot, you don't know about this way. It was just like they talk about it like it's common knowledge among the people who care.
Yeah.
So
That was the thing I did like about it, though, when you were asking about it, and then they were just being honest and telling you about it. It wasn't like, what, you've never seen that or whatever.
I honestly will say, when we started the podcast, we were like, we're going to have some internet tough guys try to be like, oh, you guys are bullshit. We, number one, have never had that shit on any of our social media or anything. And anytime shit comes up on our page and we're asking those questions and stuff, you guys are awesome. Y'all are just very helpful and just, answer the questions. And if people have more questions, you'll help them out with it.
Congrats. Thank you.
I've really been down on the internet lately, but you guys are awesome. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you answering those questions every week. If you're not following us on Facebook and Twitter, get on that shit. We ask those questions and it's cool. People are having like good conversations about things like anime and games and all kinds of stuff. It's fun. I love it.
That's what I like about the questions, and I'm glad that people, want to discuss and, talk about those things, because at the end of the day, like we said, we don't have time for everything. So if you guys, now I can go on that list and pick out a highlight of an anime I've never read before.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
No, that's real cool.
That's a stepping stone for me to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys are cool with us.
Yeah.
We hate the rest of the fucking internet. It can burn.
Yes.
But you guys are
Thank
cool.
God Trump killed it.
Yeah. So Chris also asked, or not, doesn't also ask. Chris asked, do you ever feel like Voyager, Star Trek Voyager, is a lot like Gilligan's Island? I've never watched a lot of Voyager. I watched
a fuck ton of Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
I like this comparison. TJ says no.
I don't feel like it. I can see where the comparison could be made, but no, I don't feel like it.
Like a sci-fi Gilligan's Island.
No.
So who's Gilligan in Voyager? Who is the who's the
if anyone would be Gilligan in Gilligan's Island, it would probably be Tom Paris.
Okay.
Who's my favorite character, but
he's the Gilligan.
If anybody is.
Who's Marianne in is that right?
Oh, Marianne would definitely be 7 of 9.
7 of 9. There you go. All right, so question for the next mailbag. This one comes
I guess
from...
that would be a question for all of us, too, at some point.
What?
Who was hotter, Marianne or Ginger?
I never watched Gilligan's Island.
Never watched
funny
Gilligan's
enough,
Island?
never watched it.
Oh,
I've
Mike,
obviously seen episodes. I've never watched it though.
Mike, who's hotter? Marianne or Ginger?
Mrs.
We're
Howell.
not talking who would you bang.
I'm a Mrs. Howell man. It's really hard to. They both have great qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like that Marianne had amazing vision in that one episode where they ate the special carrots, and she could see boats from miles off.
All right, guys. So here is we've been missing this guy.
It's also Kurt Russell's first TV appearance, Gilligan's Island.
There
Nice.
we go. We've been missing this guy, Greg Still.
Oh,
He's
man.
back. Thank God. We've been worried about you,
Know
Greg.
who else I've been worried about?
I like my
Bob
last name.
EMT 69.
Yeah, Bob EMT69 made one appearance, and
He's afraid.
he's out there fucking saving the world.
No,
Yeah.
he's afraid that we're gonna rip on him. Bob EMT69. I just want you to know that we know that's just your job and your old football number, but we like to live a dream.
We salute you.
Yeah, we salute you. We're gonna think that you're saving lives one dick at a time, and that if you ever come on the show, then we're all gonna have immediate unannounced medical problems. But we won't make fun of you. We'll just make fun
Gray's
with
won't
you.
be that unannounced. I mean, strokes and heart attacks are common at his
He's
age.
like, it's like fire. You got to fight strokes with strokes.
All right, so here's Greg Steele's question. We all are aware that the Name of the Wind is great, but what are your thoughts about the upcoming Name of the Wind movie and TV series and the involvement of Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Okay, well, let me tell you all about this because actually
This is all about Mike.
I'm the one who knows about Name of the Wind. It's by an author named Pat Rothfuss. It's
Is this one of your audiobooks?
yeah, it's one of the audiobooks. I actually bought it on a $4.95 sale on Audible, which they have from time to time.
It's a hell of a deal.
They have some amazing books. When those deals come up, those $5 deals, check them out because they usually have some good starts to series. And Nate always talks about the Rhaenyra Chronicles a lot, and Dark Tower to kind of give TJ an idea. I think the books are of that quality or better.
okay.
Like, they're really good. In fact, I was reading an article that said that a lot of people said this could be the next Game of Thrones. But to give you an idea, the way the story is it's. I don't know if a lot of these like medieval fantasy type stories, you don't know if it's the future or the past. They just don't kind of come out with that, which I don't know if that's. Point is there's an acting troupe, a minstrel troupe. It's medieval times. Our character Kavoth is a child. His entire troupe gets destroyed by a group of supernatural beings called the Chandrian, which is a name that is rarely spoken. It's kind of like Voldemort type deal. So he wants his vengeance, and he eventually ends up at a school to learn to become a wizard. The story sounds pretty standard, but the characters, Rothfuss writing and everything, it's really good. It pulls you into what's going on, and you really they're just really well done, interesting novels. It's got magic in it. It's got deceit. Loan sharks, shitty rich kids, monsters, hot ladies, all kinds of cool stuff. Great series. They made a sequel to it. There's a third book, but it's like Game of Thrones. It is taking years for this thing to come out. But they are talking about, the last couple of years making a movie and a series about it. The Lin-Manuel guy they're talking about is the guy who did Hamilton, a lot of the songs and stuff in that.
Yeah.
And Kvoth in the book is also a bard. So
songs.
There's a lot of songs and singing and performances, and that's where he would come in, to kind of write the stories and make those. It's not a musical by any means, but it's a part of the series. So I think that's where he's going to come in, obviously, which is exciting because, I mean, when there's, quality people behind it, people who give a shit, and the Lin-Manuel guy even wrote that him and his family love this series.
Okay.
So, and they're really big books. You're not going to get chinced on it. It's huge books. So, I mean, if you're into medieval fantasies type tough wizards, all that, really recommend it. Name of the Wind, Pat Rothfuss. It should be good. I hope it's good. I'm interested to see what they do about it. I never hold my breath, though, when it comes to adaptations. Never.
Yeah. That sounds interesting.
Because I'll suffocate.
Absolutely. Well, cool. Well, that's our last question from the mailbag. We've had to skip them the last few weeks, so we're catching up. What you got, TJ?
Well, next week.
Next week is our annual Best of Year in Review in 2017. And
our 200th episode.
It is. So we're at episode 199 this week, and we have nothing planned for our 200th episode. It's one of those things. It fell during Christmas and during New Year's. We've all got a lot going on. The days are short. I'm just tired. All that kind of stuff. So
it was the winter solstice,
21st,
2 days ago.
Yeah, I was doing my Dwight. We're putting our diabolical plan on hold because the days are short.
Yeah.
So we have nothing at all planned for episode 21.
Pretty standard
200
for us.
Yeah, we did a big 150.
Episode 203 might be good.
Yeah, we'll maybe do something cool for 214 or something. I don't know. Probably not. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll just keep doing the same old shit.
I mean, none of the really important things in comics have ever happened on the 100s or 200s or
no,
300s.
not really.
Well, you've been
really.
your 87s or your 98s or 137s
80,
or 15 or
Spider-Man 300 is probably the exception to the rule.
What about Spider-Man 700? Didn't he die?
Did he die on that one, or did he come back on that one?
Amazing 700.
I guess that was that's when it was spectacular. Yeah. I mean, but that was made that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. It's 200 episodes.
More often than not, though, it's the odd numbers that really stand out.
Yeah. So we got nothing. We got nothing for you.
If you have some suggestions,
send them our way because we ain't got nothing. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling.
Shit.
No, it'll be New Year's. This episode actually comes out on Christmas, and normally we put them out immediately after we record them, and it comes out on Monday. We record on Sunday night, but this is Saturday. This is Festivus, so this will be coming out on Christmas. So it'll be a little bit late. So we may miss some news or whatnot. We'll pick it up next week. But next week will be probably a longer episode because we are doing our year-end review, which is fun.
There's a lot of stuff. I'm still going through trying to sort things out.
I'm working on my list. And then the week after that, we'll be doing... Oh, yeah.
Chuck's giving us more shit.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
It's taken long enough, Chuck. Just kidding. But also, then the week after that, we'll probably be doing our 2018 What Are We Looking Forward To? So, look forward to that. So lame. But thanks for listening. This is if you're listening on Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and all yours. Thanks again for being great fans. But like we talked about before, when y'all answer our questions, y'all are awesome.
Yep.
And we appreciate you guys. So we'll see you in 200, and then we'll probably quit this shit because God, it's bullshit by now.
I got better shit to do.
I think we'll end it at 200 and start over with a number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we'll go to about 16 and start over at number 1.
Yeah.
Nerds who try monogamy. Nerds who join the monastery sometimes.
All right, guys. Later.
Merry Christmas, boners.
Merry Christmas.
Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Recordtown Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdswhogetlaid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks World Wide podcast network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod podcast network. We're on FloridaGeekScene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!